films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. With films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation, with Leo Kaplan and Mike.
Why the West was wild. Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Casey Shimashko, Dermot Mulroney, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen.
You were supposed to serve 11 warrants and expose the ring. Instead, you went on the warpath. The governor's revoked your deputization powers. You're now wanted by the legitimate law as well as those outside the law. You're being hunted by troops.
Young Guns.
I said, hopefully it won't be too long. Megan went, yeah, famous last words.
Yeah, I know. Our last episode was an hour and 52 minutes.
Yeah, you wanted that to be a short one.
and I had to edit that before midnight. I fell asleep in my chair with the laptop on my stomach and woke up with a little bit of a burn mark on my stomach from how hot the laptop was. Anyway, thanks for listening to that brief little conversation. It had nothing to do with anything, but if you heard the trailer at the beginning of the show, you know that we are talking about Young Guns tonight, the classic Western from 1988. But we're doing a little something special, something we haven't done in a little while, which is recasting. So we're going to be doing a recasting of Young Guns here on episode 197, our second big budget blockbuster Western that we've recasted on the show, because we once did Tombstone as well. Again, we are Films of Fermentation, Movie and Alcohol Podcast, #1 pop culture podcast on Good Pods, as well as the #1 beer podcast and TV and film podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends like talk shit about movies while getting shit faced. In this episode, we're riding into the sunset with a modern day recasting of Young Guns, because apparently Hollywood hasn't rebooted enough shit yet. We're trading in mullets and six-shooters for man buns and skinny jeans. Just kidding. Who makes the new Billy the Kid? Is it Timothée Chalamet or somebody even broodier and less dusty? So grab your whiskey, polish your boots, and get ready for a rootin' tootin' recast showdown. Don't forget to drop us an email, filmsandfermentation@gmail.com, or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media podcast links. You can join us on the Podnation Media Network app on Roku, or subscribe to our Substack newsletter. We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. That's right. For a $1 donation, you can join us on a peyote-fueled spirit walk. Go to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or purchase merchandise at teespring.com. Or you can text us 904-867-4466. Just a reminder, if you send us a text, please identify yourself so I can give you a proper shout out on the show. Thank you.
The same thing if you fax us.
Yeah. If
that's a fax, you should have a name on it.
Snail mail to P.O. Box 123.
Well, I'm the one outside looking for the smoke, the smoke signals.
The smoke signals? Yeah.
Sign that too, please.
Pony Express. Send it Pony Express.
Oh, ho, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be me. Previous episode shout out Steve G on Rumble, one of our newest video platforms. Wants to know why nobody chose Seinfeld for best comedy. It is one that we kind of forgot. It's not one of my top comedies of all time. I enjoy it. I think it's funny. I think it still kind of stands up today.
I enjoyed it when it was on. I don't get into the reruns quite as much.
Yeah, there's some people who are like obsessed with it and like can tell you everything about it.
I think I'm more into the Friends reruns than I would be the Seinfeld one.
I was going to say Friends is one we probably forgot too as well. Sad Boy 32 on Reddit. I'm sorry about your tag name there. Said how I Met Your Mother. It's one of my wife's favorite sitcoms. I actually enjoy the sitcom too, and I may have put it on my list of favorite sitcoms of all time if the last season didn't piss me off so badly. We talk about shows having great finales. The finale to How I Met Your Mother made me want to throw my TV out the window. My dad's personal favorite sitcom of all time is Sanford and Son.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Elizabeth, come on, honey. I see my dad watching that randomly and just laughing his ass off all the time. And we have some new follower shout outs. We have a lot of new followers on our socials on Facebook, Threads, X, and Reddit, and Instagram. A lot of new follows. I'm not going to say what platform they're on. I'm just going to read off these names here so we can go through this. So thank you for following us. Brain versus Bot, IBPIR, AMC Movie Simp, Token Works, Max Lamba, JJ, Sal Mazzata, Life on the Film Set, Dan B. Fierce, horror short story writer who followed us on X, Longbox Punk, Podcast Wiz, Gentle Dork Pod, Get Your Comic On, The Danny Boy Show, Movie Health, Parenting Creative, King of Geeks, Retro Arcade, Andros Beer Selfies, Chris Peregrine, who else we got here? Horror Gang, We Are Going to Eat You. That is a horror movie Instagram post.
Wow.
I just realized I got my credit card numbers up on the screen here. At least my phone down.
You're dealing
We got Emma Talks Movies. I am a fan of Java. Panda 6936879. Basil Gunny. I make memes. Best Boy Ronin, the Hush Podcast. Movie Drew, the Ryan T Show. Chronicles of Ali and Miso. Cat 121151. And man, we got more.
Wow.
Hey, you guys, 80s. The reaction, the Reaction Shot Podcast and Spotify. The RIP Man, Locked Off Logic Pod, Filmatic, and that is all of them. That was a lot, but that was all the.
Is the RIP Man Undertaker?
No, he's just a guy. But these are all the people who started following us on all of our different social sites. So thank you for the follows. Please keep following, supporting the show, and feel free to contact us and let us know what you think of some of our episodes. We'd love to hear from you. What are we drinking this evening, gentlemen?
I guess I'll go first this time.
If you
I am starting with the Sam Adams Summer Ale, Citrus Wheat Ale, 5.3% alcohol by volume. It is a bright citrus wheat ale bursting with orange, lemon, lime, and grains of paradise. Perfect for any summer day. Considering today was a hot, ball sweating 90 degrees, I figured.
God, it was terrible.
I think it was terrible. The guy I was working with, I threw him up in the attic to work today.
Guy you were working with what?
He had to go work up in the attic.
That's terrible.
Well, I can't get up in the attic, so.
Good on you to be
tiny guy up there.
Mike, what are you drinking?
I am drinking what I talked to you guys about last week. I am drinking the Whitestone Courage blended malt whiskey. This is the Critical Role inspired D&D whiskey. Critical Role whiskey. It says here from the DeRollo family distillery in Whitestone comes an ordinary spirit to honor the spirit that makes us extraordinary. Courage, whether found in a city, pledging your love, or facing down a ferocious foe. We all must dig deep in order to stand tall and celebrate those moments when we summon our strongest selves. Start with the courage, the adventure will follow. This is out of, let's see where it says.
It's the boy.
It is.
It's the boy.
Made by Quest and Whiskeys, bottled in Jacksonville, Florida. It is 49% alcohol by volume, 98 proof. And this is the bottle.
All right.
It's a pretty bottle.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the boy.
Yeah, I'm distracted. I get distracted by the boy.
Sorry, he was making pterodactyl sounds.
Ah!
So we brought him up.
Hi, Megan.
Again. Nolan.
Kevin's son, Nolan, who we refer to as the boy,
The boy.
is on the show right now. So if you're not watching us on YouTube, Rumble, or the Roku channel, you might want to check it out so you can see how cute this kid is.
You're missing out on a very cute child.
As he's eating the wires on Kevin's headphones.
Don't worry. In the next week or so, he will be taking Kevin's place.
Yeah.
Kevin's no longer bringing the sexy or bringing the pretty.
Yeah. Nolan, what do you got to say tonight, bud? You got anything you got to say?
Anything to say?
The mic is yours. The mic is yours. You got to say something. Don't just stare at me.
I don't think he probably should hear us talking to him.
That's special.
We will. Love you.
Hey, you got the reaction you wanted.
Yeah.
All right. From cuteness back to drunkenness. Since we're talking about Young Guns, a Western, I am just doing the old cowboy thing and drinking a little whiskey on the rocks here. So I have some Maker's Mark 46. And I'm drinking it out of my Old West style steel mug. All right.
That's sipping whiskey right there.
Yeah. From one cute boy to another.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
All right, sir.
1942, Mrs. Minerva. Based on the novel by Jan Struthers, directed by William Wyler, and starring Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon, is released in the U.S. Best Picture 1943.
Ooh.
All I can tell you about this film is that it won Best Picture in 1943. I know nothing else about it.
That's the only reason it made the list, because it was Best Picture.
What's next, sir?
1955, first president to appear on TV in color was Eisenhower.
And it's funny because he appeared in TV in color and was still black and white.
Pretty much. 1983, Octopussy, 13th James Bond film starring Roger Moore, Maud Adams, and Louis Jordan, premieres in London.
I would have to say this is number one on my list of James Bond titles.
That's yes.
I remember seeing that in the video store as a kid and thinking it was something dirty. Like I didn't even know it was a James Bond film.
Though the best one is the one with, pussy galore.
Pussy galore. Pussy galore.
1988, Big, a film directed by Penny Marshall, starring Tom Hanks, premieres in the U.S.
First movie to make $100 million in the box office, directed by a woman, I believe.
Nice.
And this is when everybody learned how to play chopsticks.
Yes, that is the whole reason everybody went to FAO Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up taking the piano off the floor, I think, because too many people were coming to play it. Next one's a good one.
1989, Dead Poet Society film starring Robin Williams premieres.
Yes. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Mm.
And then I don't know why, but what just popped in my head was that SNL skit where they're doing a spoof of Dead Poet Society. The kid stands up on a chair to say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and the fan knocks his head off. I think it was a Pete Davidson skit or something. Next one, sir.
And 1991, NBC announces Jay Leno to succeed Johnny Carson as host of The Tonight Show on May 25th, 1992.
You guys remember how much of a debacle this was? It was
Oh my
between
God.
Leno and Letterman, and they even made a mini film or something about it, which I found really intriguing. And then Leno goes to retire and pulls the same kind of shit between Conan and,
And I honestly, between the three of them, I probably prefer Conan and even Letterman over Leno.
Yeah.
And actually, I just watched recently the Conan O'Brien received the Mark Twain Award for comedy, and they had it's on Netflix. You can watch the tribute show, and it was really good. It was really funny, really funny. And the last one you got there, sir.
2018, Ocean's 8 film premieres, directed by Gary Ross, starring Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, and Rihanna.
This was a prequel, wasn't it?
No,
this was only came before Ocean's 11. You sure?
I am positive because I watched it.
You sit on a throne of lies.
It is a spinoff, or not even a spinoff. I want to say probably like a. Oh God, I don't even know what you would call. I guess spinoff. So it's Sandra Bullock plays George Clooney's sister. So he's Danny Ocean. She's whatever Ocean her name is.
Daniel Ocean.
Yeah, and
Daniel Ocean.
It takes place after Ocean's 13 because George Clooney's character Danny Ocean is dead at the beginning of the movie. She visits his tomb or whatever and is talking to him, and I'm like, you fucking killed off George Clooney's character? I'm supposed to want to watch this movie now. I was waiting for the cameo later in the film. Now, I like all the actresses in it. They're great actresses. It was an okay film. It wasn't great, but it was okay. But yeah, the first thing they did was kill off George Clooney's character off screen, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
Well, it's kind of like the 2016 Ghostbusters that came out.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't kill off Egon right away. They screwed that, and they did that a couple movies later.
It
killed him off.
It was bizarre. So we went from one cute boy to another cute boy to the boy that brings the pretty.
Kevin's here, he's here for a bit. He's got news, it's spirit of the Kevin.
When some people drink beer, they think of, various animals that really, symbolize the beer drinking person, whether it be Clydesdales or wildcats or sloths. Sloths. That's my spirit animal.
That's definitely the animal I relate to the most.
I mean, it'll beat me in a race. I know that for sure. Chattanooga Beer Company collabs with the zoo for sloth-inspired beverage.
I still see the frogs. But
that's right. And penguins too. I forgot about the penguins.
Don't go short shrift and Spuds McKenzie there.
I still feel like this sloth is going to take the cake. Odd Story Brewing Company and the Chattanooga Zoo have partnered to create Hang 2 Mango IPA, a tropical beer brewed with real mango, featuring a two-toed sloth from the zoo on the can. We thought it would be a real fun idea to celebrate one of the newest members of the zoo family with a special beer created in her honor, said Jake Cash, Director of Marketing and Communications at Chattanooga Zoo. Boysenberry, the two-toed sloth, came to live with us all the way from Portland, Oregon, and so many guests have enjoyed getting to see her. Boysenberry is the first sloth to live at the Chattanooga Zoo in several years. She is nearly 8 years old and is surprisingly active for a sloth. In addition to their collaborative efforts, Odd Story has also named the Chattanooga Zoo their nonprofit of the month through June. Odd Story will be hosting a give back night with Chattanooga Zoo on June 12th from 5 till 8 at their Central Avenue location. Stop by if you can. Hang Two Mangoes IPA will only be available at Odd Stories locations at 1604 Central Ave and 336 East Martin Luther King Boulevard and Chattanooga Zoo. You can watch a promo video at the website, which I do not have in front of me. Dun, dun, dun. Guys, you know how I like my my pastry beers, right?
No.
I like beers that are going to give that make Mike have to inject himself with more insulin.
Hey, I am now being monitored constantly.
Oh, look at that. He's part cyborg now. Boulevard Brewing Company, Russell Stover's partner, up for limited edition beer. Ooh, you guys like Russell Stover's chocolates around Easter time? Or maybe just any time of year? Well, looks like Boulevard Beer and Whitman's More S'mores Beer have been created. This is out of Kansas City, Missouri. Boulevard Brewing Company and Russell Stover's Whitman's Chocolates are partnering up for a limited edition beer. More S'mores Barrel Aged Stout is being launched on June 5th from 4 to 7 at Boulevard Beer Hall. At the launch, there will be samples and full pours of the beer, giveaways, and some surprises. No tickets are necessary for entry. A 16-ounce, 8.2% ABV limited edition can be purchased in 4-packs in the Kansas City area while supplies last. This partnership encourages everyone to share the small moments and enjoy chocolate while drinking the beer and celebrating the little things in life.
Definitely sounds like your kind of beer, man.
It is, man. I'm looking at it. It looks pretty good. It's a s'mores beer.
Ugh.
Nice strength to it, too, 8.5.
Yeah. And lastly, what goes better than, getting blitzed and drunk is going to a theme park and going on an amusement ride. Free beer is back at Busch Gardens this summer. Tampa, Florida, and Williamsburg, Virginia. It's back. Free beer returns to Busch Gardens to celebrate summer and help guests cool down and refresh from the exhilarating new thrills, hot new shows, and fan-favorite animal experiences happening in the parks this summer. Guests looking to enjoy a cold one this summer can find it here, Busch Gardens, Tampa, and they have the locations near the Congo River Rapids. That way it gets cleaned off when you puke it off up during the ride. And at the Wilcombe House in the Busch Gardens Williamsburg location.
It's welcome.
Welcome? It's at Welcome House. Welcome House. From an immersive new realm to a thrilling new ride, summer events packed with exciting entertainment, and Busch Gardens Williamsburg's 50th anniversary celebrations. Our parks are a great place to be this summer, and a free cold one or two is the perfect way to take some time and relax and refresh, said Mark Swanson, CEO of United Parks and Resorts. Both Busch Gardens parks are igniting the spark for summertime family fun, including the return of the summer night at Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay and Summer of Wonder at Busch Gardens Williamsburg.
I'm sorry. Did anybody just have what was that? Damn. Never mind. Train of thought. A Grease moment when he said that summer nights.
Summer nights.
Summer nights.
I was just happy. You guys were able to keep going, even though I had my mic turned off most of that time because there was a plane flying solo over my house just now. I thought it was landing in my driveway.
So it didn't tell you how you got your free beer.
Well, no. It does. It gives you the locations. If you go to the Tampa Busch Gardens, located near Congo River Rapids, all guests can receive 1 free beer per visit.
Okay.
Pass holders can receive 2 free beers per visit from 11 a.m. till the park closes local time.
See, if I went there
However,
with Katie, she doesn't drink beer, so that could be 4 beers for me that are free.
if you are a pass holder at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, the Welcome House will offer 1 free beer per visit for members and annual pass holders, and a 50-cent beer for all guests. Offer begins.
So it's not free for us because we're going to go in there and get the 50 cent.
Sure, it's a 50-cent beer, man. You can get 10 beers for 5
beers.
bucks.
20 beers for 10 bucks.
Beers for $10.
I'm in danger.
And if I had $1.5 billion times 10 years, that equals $1 trillion.
1 billion beers. All right. So we go from one cute guy to another cute guy to the guy that brings the sexy to, me.
Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates Leo.
Next movie I'm definitely going to go see in the theater. It comes out on June 6th. Ballerina from the world of John Wick, premiering nationwide. I like the John Wick films in general. I would have seen this one even if John Wick was something I wasn't familiar with because Ana de Armas stars in it, and that's all I need. Wes Anderson's newest film, The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, and Michael Cera, is currently in theaters and is receiving pretty excellent reviews. And I like Wes Anderson, so it's probably something I will see, if not in the theater, at least I will, definitely check it out when it comes to home viewing. Hopefully it's better than Asteroid City. I did not enjoy that one that much.
That was bad.
His one before that, French Dispatch, was pretty good. And for the most part, I enjoy his movies. So I'm hoping this one is a little better than that last one. And I got one more piece of news. This is for Mike.
Hey, boys. Look what I got here. Hey, where are the white women at?
I just saw the clip of Spaceballs where they're doing. I'm surrounded by assholes.
I saw one the other day. It was Tim Curry as Frankfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was a little disturbing.
Oh, that's disturbing.
A little stereo baby in lingerie. It was like, oh man, Mike, you have any must-try beer or craft destinations evening?
I do. We're going to talk about 3 months, 8.5 alcohol by volume, Bière de Grande from France. At the heart of the La Brasserie de Saint-Sylvestre lies a legacy of passion and precision, a tradition handed down from father to son, rooted in northern France brewing heritage. This dedication, combined with high-quality local ingredients, gives rise to beers of remarkable character. 3 months is a classic Bière de Grande, brewed by fusion with robust Flemish hops and top fermenting yeast. Pouring a radiant blonde with a dense, persistent head, it offers a nostalgic return to nature, a taste evocative of rural France.
I love persistent.
You love persistent. You love persistent head.
I love persistent head.
On the nose, ripe fruit leaps from the glass, followed by crystal cereal undertones. The palate is rich and expressive, echoing the depth of fine white wine, fruity, malty, and harmoniously bitter. Its generous body and warm, lingering finish makes it both rustic and refined, a celebration of tradition in every sip.
I think I'm gonna have to start just making songs for a films and fermentation album. We already have Barnyard Funk, so I think the next one I'm gonna make is Persistent Head.
Persistent Head.
I like head that just doesn't give up. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Here's these words from the podcast media network, or Podnation Media Network, and we'll come back with our main segment. I got flustered. I was thinking about Persistent Head. Hey, movie lovers, this is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Podnation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history and, of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Podnation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Podnation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/PodNationPods. All right. Thank you for hanging with us during that short little word from our network, the Podnation Media Network on Roku. Tonight, in our main segment, we are doing another little recasting episode. We're going to be recasting the 1988 Western classic Young Guns. The original film, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a loosely based on a true story about the life of Billy the Kid and the regulators that he was a part of, who started out as deputies. Regulators, mount up! Who started out as deputies before becoming outlaws themselves. It's called Young Guns because it had a very young cast at the time. You had Emilio Estevez playing William Bonney, a.k.a. Billy the Kid. Charlie Sheen as Dick Brewer. Kiefer Sutherland as Doc Scurlock. Lou Diamond Phillips as Chavez E. Chavez. Dermot Mulroney as Dirty Steve Stevens. Casey Siemaszko as Charlie Beaudry. Terrence Stamp as John Tunstall. Jack Palance as L.G. Murphy. And rounding out the cast, you had Alice Carter as Yen Sun. She was the Asian girl that Kiefer Sutherland's character falls in love with. Terry O'Quinn as the lawyer McSweeney, and Sharon Thomas Keane as his wife, Mrs. McSweeney. The film came out, as I said, 1988. This was the age of the actors in the film, which made it interesting when we did our recasting tonight, because my actors that I chose ended up being older than most of these actors, but look younger. Because actors in the 80s like to party hard and had a lot of mileage on their faces in the 80s. So the Young Guns cast, Estevez was 26 when he did the film. Lou Diamond Phillips was 26. Charlie Sheen was 23. Kiefer Sutherland was the youngest guy in the cast. He was 21 when he did this film. Dermot Mulroney was 24, and Casey Siemaszko was 26. So the oldest actors were were 26 years old when they did the film. So I thought it was interesting that my actors, I think all my actors that I chose are older than the guys who played the characters in the film originally.
I have
younger.
I have one actor that is 35. Looks like he's 20.
I'm gonna say, if you want something real funny, here you go. Jack Palance, when he did the film, I could have sworn he was like 88. He was 61 when he did this movie. And Terrence Stamp, who played John Tunstall, this is only a few years off of Superman 2. In Superman 2, he looked like he was in his 40s. In Young Guns, he also looked like he was 82.
Yes, but he did looking like he aged one day from that to Chancellor. What's his name?
Yeah, but he was 50 when he did this film, Terrence Stamp. Terry O'Quinn was 36. The woman that played his wife was 42. I couldn't find out the age of the Asian actress, Alice Carter. There was like no information about how old she was when she did the movie. So getting back to it then, we're going to be each taking a turn recasting these characters for a modern day movie, which just so you know, I saw an interview with Emilio Estevez earlier today where he's talking about how they're working on Young Guns 3.
Yeah.
It's called Young Guns 3, old guys.
I suggest we start from the bottom and work up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking we start with
Billy Bonney is.
So you want to start with like Jack Palance and then like work our way up to Emilio Estevez. All right. So Jack Palance plays the villain in the film, L.G. Murphy. He is an Irish immigrant who is a landowner, and he is trying to take the land from John Tunstall, the Terrence Stamp character. And he does so by having Tunstall killed, and that's what leads to the regulators becoming outlaws, et cetera, and so forth. Jack Palance was 61 when he did this film. Gentlemen, who would like to go first with this?
I'll go.
Oh, go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
You sure?
Sure.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Kevin.
I thought about this, and I thought Liam Neeson would fit the role pretty well.
He can use his actual accent too.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that works well with this because the character is
Irish.
He's tough. He's brooding. He's probably in that age range too right now, as far as I can tell.
Seems like you would say, Mr. Tunstall, we can leave this be. You give me your land. It doesn't have to go any further. But if you don't give me your land, I will find you. I will kill you.
And I will take it anyway.
I will take it anyway.
I have a particular set of skills.
He looks like educated young boys.
Mike, why don't we go to you? Who did you have for LG Murphy?
I didn't go with someone that could do an accent. Well, he might be. I don't know if he can or not.
Yeah.
But I went with Sam Elliott for this one.
There you go.
Yeah, I would take that.
I would take him as that or as John Tunstall.
Yeah.
Because he's just
I got for Tunstall is much better as Tunstall than he would be.
But when you think like a Western film, like Sam Elliott, like is a Western film. Like he is a Western. He himself is a Western film. Sam Elliott. Let's see how old he is. I'm curious to like match up the ages for these actors that we're choosing. Sam Elliott was born in. Where the hell is his info at? Jesus, I want to show him here other than what I'm looking for. Born in. It doesn't want to tell me. Never mind.
Just want to age out there.
Yeah, you don't want people to know how old he is, which is probably like
because he's looked the same age since the 80s.
The only movie he ever looked different in to me was Roadhouse because he didn't have the mustache. Every other movie looked exactly the same. So for mine, I went with an actor who I honestly thought this guy was younger than Jack Palance when I chose him to be the actor for this character. And then I read that Jack Palance was only 61, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me that he was that young when he did this film. Because I went with Bryan Cranston, who now is currently 69 years old.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know he was that old.
Wow.
But I was thinking about the whole, like, he went from being a comedic actor to being so villainous and scary in Breaking Bad that I thought he could be villainous and scary as well in this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's starting to get that, like, craggly look face like Jack Palance had at the time, too. So yeah, I think those are all really good picks, I think. So I had Bryan Cranston, Mike had Sam Elliott. I'm going to keep track of this. And Kevin had Liam Neeson.
Yep.
I think we're all really good picks. So I think we're off to a strong start here. That means the next one then is John Tunstall, played by Terrence Stamp, who was 50 at the time. Since I went last on this one, I'll go first this time. I picked Kevin Costner because he's kind of reached that point in his career now where he's kind of doing that like sort of like side character.
Is he going to do the English accent like he did in?
Yeah, so he doesn't have to be an English accent. You know, it could come and go like it did in Robin Hood. Now Kevin Costner is 70.
Tell Nottingham that he can come to any good Englishman and find out what it means to be an Englishman.
He's 70 now, Kevin Costner, and looks younger and Terrence Stamped at 50.
Yeah.
All right. So I did.
I
went
go
with
next. We'll
Kevin Costner.
I'll go next.
So you go ahead.
For this, I chose Christoph Waltz.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Talk about a good English accent.
Yeah. Wow. I chose him because of how he was in the Django Unchained, but how Django, he was. What's that one about the cyborg girl and
Alita Battle Angel?
Alita Battle Angel. You know, the fatherly, take care of you kind of person.
You can also say though, based on how villainous he was in Inglourious Bastards, he probably could have been an LG Murphy character.
He
too.
could have been.
He's so good with languages and stuff too. I wonder if he can like pull off a different accent because he speaks so many different languages.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like that. I like Christoph Waltz in general. I think he's just a fun actor to watch. So that leaves Mike then. Mike, who do you have for Terrence Stamp's John Tunstall character?
So the one I got for Tunstall could have done Murphy as well, but I think I'd rather have him as Tunstall. I got Jude Law.
Oh wow, so Jude Law is probably slightly younger than Terrence Stamp was at the time, but
he kind of looks old enough.
He looks the part,
right?
Yeah. I think I like that the best out of all three of us. Mm-hmm. I think too, like all three of us chose actors that could play either of those two parts.
Yes.
I think those parts are like interchangeable just because like the characters are supposed to be characters that kind of know each other so well.
They're exact opposites of their motivations.
So. Yeah. So all right. So that leads us in then to the main part of the cast, which are the 6 regulator characters. We'll start with like the one that's probably the least used in the film, which is Casey Siemaszko's character, Charlie Beaudry.
Yeah, pugilist.
Yeah, pugilist that gets married in Mexico and then leaves his wife immediately to go get killed.
Yes.
When they hang you, you shit yourself.
Yeah.
I found this one to be one of the toughest ones to do because if he's a pugilist, he needs to be a little
bigger.
Buff. And
Casey Siemaszko though wasn't a big guy. When he said pugilist, I imagine he's kind of like a welterweight.
Yeah, he looks a little broader in the shoulders. You know what I'm saying? All these actors nowadays look like a string bean. Got no bra. But I went
have too much muscle.
Yeah. So I went with Tom Felton.
Draco.
Yeah, Draco.
It's interesting. Yeah. He's going to be playing Draco Malfoy on stage in the Harry Potter and Cursed Child play. So he's the first original cast member to reprise his role for the play.
Okay.
That's that's an interesting one. Yeah. Tom Felton. Can he do like an American accent?
Did he do one in Planet of the Apes?
He did.
Did he?
All of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm also thinking like too. This is also. I feel like when you have to do that sort of like old West accent, like that's a little easier than like a typical American accent too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next then. I decided I was going to pick an actor who was younger and who's kind of like an actor who a face you might recognize, but who can be like a sort of side character like this, and it's not that big a deal to put him in a side character role. So I went with an actor named Ty Sheridan, who is probably best known as playing Cyclops in the X-Men First Class. And he was in the movie Ready Player One.
Okay.
Yep.
And he is 28 years old, so he's only 2 years older than Casey Siemaszko was. He's one of the younger guys in my cast.
Is he the same guy that was in Whiplash?
No, that was
Miles
Teller.
Yeah.
I get them confused too. I want to say the one name for the other.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Teller's one that's from Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. he's one too that probably could fit in one of these character roles. I didn't choose him for any, but yeah, so I went with Ty Sheridan. So Kev, why don't you go next for this one?
Okay. I went with Jack Quaid from The Boys.
Hey.
And from Companion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Companion. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in a movie this summer too, or this past couple months I wanted to see too, called Novocaine. Where he plays a guy that has like a surgery and ends up not being able to feel any pain.
Yeah.
It looked kind of interesting. But yeah, Jack Quaid's a good one. Yeah, because he's like, he's the son of Dennis Quaid, but he's not like, I would say, good looking enough. Or
right. He's not top billing material yet.
No.
Yet. And I actually applaud him for it seems as if he's getting it on his own. It doesn't seem like
he's not riding off the.
He's not nepotism,
Yeah. I say he's kind of like at the same level like Colin Hanks is. Like, he's not as popular as his dad is, but has a decent career.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Mike, who do you have for Charlie Beaudry?
Oh, I did Charlie.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. No, you didn't do this yet, did you?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Tom Felton's Charlie.
Oh, that's right, Tom Felton. I'm sorry. Yeah,
We went in a wheel.
yeah. I'm trying to
I start again.
I'm trying to keep track of who picked what, and I'm forgetting to type it down. All right, so that goes to Dermot Mulroney's character, Dirty Steve Stevens, who Dermot Mulroney was 24 when he did this role. Let's see.
That's my turn.
Do you want to go first?
Yes. And for this, I'm choosing an actor who's still playing a child in the upcoming season of Stranger Things, but he's probably older than 24, and that's Finn Wolfhard.
Ooh, okay. I thought you were gonna. I picked some very Stranger Things too, and I thought you were gonna say I did. And it's not the guy I had.
Okay,
no, that's what I got. Which one's Finn?
Finn is the main guy, the main character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Goofy looking one.
Yeah.
So why'd you pick Finn Wolfhard?
After watching him in the Ghostbuster movies, his appearance just kind of looks goofy, like Dermot Mulroney's Dirty Steve Stevens.
Like he doesn't like to shower.
Yeah, I could see him being just a slob and playing it that way.
Okay. Yeah, I really. As soon as you said Stranger Things, I was like, "Oh shit, do we have the same guy?" Mike, why don't you go now, and I'll go last.
So originally, I had this guy at a different role, but I found a better person for that role. I still wanted him in it, even though he's a bigger star for this than this role is now. If it was a few years ago, he'd be perfect. But I'm going with Austin Butler.
Okay.
I mean, before he did Elvis, this would have been a perfect role for him. But now that he's done Elvis, he's huge.
I would put Austin Butler in just about any movie, man. Like he's a really good actor.
I was going to have him do the Doc character, but I got somebody better for that.
He is by far my favorite part of Dune Part 2. Austin Butler is phenomenal in Dune Part 2. That's a good one. I like Austin Butler.
I first saw him doing a TV series, a mini series on MTV for the Chronicles of Shannara.
Yeah, he started on that series. Yeah. I saw him actually. He was in a movie that I watched recently. It was a real small part. It was like the first movie he ever did or something, and I can't remember what the hell the movie was. Apparently, it wasn't that great. I can't remember what it was. I also went with a Stranger Things actor. Now, my Stranger Things actor is actually 33 years old, but I don't think he looks 33 years old. So he looks like he's close to the Dirty Steve Stevens age. So I went with Joe Keery from Stranger Things, who plays Steve, the bad guy turned good guy in the first season, who became like everybody's big brother.
He acts off in the first season.
Yeah, supposed to die in the first season. He was such a nice guy. They kept him. Ended up becoming Dustin's best pal. Yeah. I like Joe Keery because I think he looks a lot like Dermot Mulroney did in Young Guns in the 80s. So he's got like that similar look, the wild hair, Yep. Just put a little dirt on his face, and I think he has it. All right, now we're getting into the really big characters here, people that are the ones with the more screen time of the 6 Young Guns, starting with Lou Diamond Phillips as Chavez E. Chavez, the Native American character in the group.
Mexican American asshole.
Thank you for following that up. I was hoping somebody would catch it. Who is going to go first? Is this you? Turn. Okay, go ahead.
This is me. So I went with Anthony Ravolori.
Okay.
He was he played Flash in the Spider-Man movies.
Yes. Wait. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in the newer, in the Tom Holland ones.
The Tom Holland movies. The guy that plays Flash.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's not one that this is one I had a tough time with this one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a tough
I
one.
was looking for like Latin American actors, and I'm like, I don't know too many like in that age range, you know.
Well, here's one.
Yeah, here's one of them. One that might get one that plays Flash Thompson in the Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man films.
Yep.
All right.
People recognize, but not.
Yeah.
He's not Lou Diamond Phillips coming off of La Bamba, but
yeah, but like you said, he's a face people might recognize even if they don't know his name.
Right.
You know, it'd be like, oh, that guy. You know his face. So is it me or Kevin now?
Could be Kevin than you.
Okay.
Right. Wait, did you go the last time, Lee?
I went last in the last round.
Okay. So I should go last this time.
Okay. I'll go next. So I really kind of went out of the box on this one because, again, like I said, I didn't know too many of the younger Latin American actors. So I kind of did a little bit of research, but I found one I think would fit really well. His name is Jolo Maridueña, who was in the DCEU Blue Beetle movie that came out a couple of years ago. He played the Blue Beetle. And he's also in Cobra Kai as a character, Miguel Diaz.
Yeah, that one came up a lot too.
He was one of the ones that came up in a lot of the searches I did. He's also the youngest guy in my cast. He's 23 years old. And Lou Diamond Phillips was 26, so he's pretty close to the age that Lou Diamond Phillips was in this film. And I like his look. He looks kind of like, if you look at his picture on IMDb, he looks kind of like the young Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
So I think for lack of more knowledge of actors for this character, I thought he was a good pick. So then that takes us to Kevin.
Yeah, that's me. I also struggled a little bit, but I came up with Tenoch Huerta from Wakanda Forever. He played Namor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I know he's older. He's our age. He's decrepit. But I thought he'd make for a very good Chavez-y Chavez.
Chavez-y Chavez. Tenoch. I'm looking for the actor.
Just to say this, I almost went with somebody that was old in this for Charlie. I almost went with Tom Hardy with that one.
Well, I'm saying, now Tom Hardy's pushing it. But
pushing it a little
somebody
bit.
like this actor, Tenoch Huerta, is he's an older actor, but looks kind of younger.
Right.
He's probably younger than he is. I'm trying to find it.
81. Born in 81.
Born in 81. So he's 44.
Yeah.
All right. He don't look 44. I mean, he doesn't look like my 44 did.
Not many people look like you're 44, Lee.
No. Not many people look like my 30, my 40, my 27. So that's a good one. I think that's a good one. So that is Kevin's pick. So let me make sure.
I think I go first this round, don't I? Or no, wait, I went first for the last round.
I'm gonna do a real quick recap before we get to the top three here. So for L.G. Murphy, the Jack Palance character, Mike had Sam Elliott.
Correct.
Kev had Liam Neeson. I had Bryan Cranston. For Terrence Stamps' John Tunstall character, I had Kevin Costner. Kevin had Christoph Waltz, and Mike had Jude Law.
Yep.
For Charlie Beaudry, the Casey Schmazgo character, I had Ty Sheridan. Kevin had Jack Quaid and Tom Felton for Mike.
Yep.
For Dirty Steve Stevens, Dermot Mulroney's character, I had Joe Keery. Kevin had Finn Wolfhard, and Mike had Austin Butler. For Lou Diamond Phillips' character, Chavez-y Chavez, I had Jolo Maridueña. Mike had Anthony Revolori, and Kevin had Tenoch Huerta. So now that we recap that, let's get into the big three. So these are our three main characters. Actually, I don't think Charlie Sheen's character was that much of a main character since he's the first one to get killed off in the film, but, top billed actors, we'll say.
Yes. Starting
with Kiefer Sutherland as Doc Scurlock, who I was really surprised to find out was the youngest cast member in this film, 21 years old. And really surprised to see that the actor I chose was 29 years old. I did not think he was 29 years old. So, am I going first then?
I believe so.
Yes.
I am? Okay. So I went with a name that everybody probably knows, and you see him everywhere because he's in everything right now. It is Timothée Chalamet at 29 years old. 29 years old. I thought he was like 10. So I took Timothée Chalamet for Kiefer Sutherland. I figured because he's like,
I stayed away from Timothée Chalamet.
well, I was trying to because I know I pick him a lot, but like,
I pick
feel
him
like
up too.
he's got the name for a film like this to elevate the film. It's a role. It's a bigger role for him, and he has the capacity for like the soulfulness and the poetry that Kiefer Sutherland's character likes so much in the film.
Right.
So I felt like he could pull that off. I had him in a different character. I was like, no, I think he works better for this. So I went with Timothée Chalamet. So who's next?
Is it me? I don't know.
I think I go last, and then I go first. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, like I said, I originally had Austin Butler in this position. Then I found out I forgot about this guy. But hey, it work. I went with Aidan Gallagher.
Aidan Gallagher.
Name
is familiar.
He plays 5 in Umbrella Academy.
Oh, from Umbrella Academy.
Yep, he plays 5.
I knew the name was familiar. I couldn't remember where I heard it from.
Anybody that young that could play somebody that old could probably do the thing.
Although he's like, I think he's in his 20s now, so he kind of is in the age range for that character.
Yes, looks remarkably like Timothée Chalamet.
Yes, but he's got the range, I think, to play that soulful, introspective character too. Yeah, no, I like that one. Yeah, I knew. I heard the name before, and I couldn't remember where I heard it from. But yeah,
I was thinking Shameless.
Shameless. That was the Gallagher family. That's a good one. I like that one. Kev, who do you have then?
All right, I was thinking Brainy and Mature, and I came up with Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
He as well, I think, is in like his 30s, but looks younger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good one. I like that one. He was in the recent Nosferatu film, and he's playing Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie.
Yes, he is.
And he was what? He was Beast in the MCU X-Men films. That's a good one. I like that. Nicholas Holt's a good one. Trying to like see who I think had the best ones for each one. And I think Kev, you might have won this one. Mike definitely had the best one with Sam Elliott for Jack Palance, I think. Tie between that and Liam Neeson. I think you both had like a really good one for that one. I love Jude Law for Terrence Stamp's character.
Mike, initially I thought you meant Sam Neill. I was like, oh, Sam Neill, that's a possibility.
He would fit as Tunstall, I think. I think Sam Neill would have fit as Tunstall.
Better Tunstall, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So now we're up to Charlie Sheen's character, Dick Brewer. Charlie Sheen was 23 when he did this film. So that means who's going first then? Kevin?
Yeah, I go first. I talked a little bit to you, Lee, before going on about wanting brothers in this, and though I didn't put any brothers in this, I did use one of the ones I was thinking of for Dick Brewer, which was Liam Hemsworth.
Okay.
I think would make for a good Dick Brewer.
Liam Hemsworth is in his 30s, so slightly older, but still another actor who looks younger. So, you were welcome to pick Chris Hemsworth or something else then.
Well, that's where I was like, okay, you had Emilio and Charlie, and they were in, Men at Work, but and then I thought, no.
Talk about a movie that time forgot. Men at Work. So then that means what? Mike?
No.
Or me?
Is it me or?
I'm glad you guys are keeping track of this because I have no fucking clue who's supposed to be going right now.
Leo just went first last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go second, I go last, so I go first next.
Okay. So I had, speaking of Austin Butler, I had Austin Butler for Dick Brewer, Charlie Sheen's character. I love Austin Butler. I feel like I had to have him in my movie somewhere. So I thought I put him in this role because I think it'd be kind of for anybody who hadn't seen the original Young Guns, it would be kind of like an audience shock moment when he gets killed.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be a good role, and he can play like that sort of like bossy character like Charlie Sheen plays in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Mike, it's you now, right?
Yep. So we're Charlie Sheen. I went with, this is where my Stranger Things came in.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Noah Schnapp.
Noah Schnapp. So the
Will character.
Will, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Will, who gets taken in the first season. Okay. And why'd you go with Noah Schnapp?
I just think he has the look, more the look than it is than anything else. And then he gets shot, so he doesn't last long.
Get rid of him before you get rid of him before you get tired of him.
He's my throwaway character.
He's my throwaway character. He gets killed. Who cares? Okay, so I had Austin Butler, Kevin had Liam Hemsworth, Mike had Noah Schnapp, and then for the Kiefer Sutherland character, I had Tim Chalamet, Mike had Aidan Gallagher, and Kevin and Nick Holt. And then that leads us with the main character of the entire film, William Bonney, a.k.a. Billy the Kid, played by Emilio Estevez, who was 26 years old when he did the original film. Mike, you're first on this one, you said, right?
Yes.
So who is your Billy the Kid?
So as soon as I started looking this up, and this guy popped up, and he's 35, but he looks like he's 18, I went, this has got to be my Billy the Kid. I went with Thomas Brody Sangster.
Oh, my buddy from Love Actually. From Game of Thrones. He was Jojen Reed or whatever his name was.
He also did an episode of Doctor Who.
Yes. And
he's
one of those actors. He's too English. How many English actors play American?
No, I know, but I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying he looks painted. He just looks pretty to be Billy. I love him as an actor.
I feel like Emilio Estevez was kind of pretty in this film.
Dude,
I don't know.
He looks 10. He's 35. You can't be called Billy the Kid without looking that young.
Yeah, he was 27 when he did Love Actually. He was playing a 10-year-old. So is that me or Kevin then?
You.
Me? Okay, so I went I originally was going to use Joe Keery in this role from Stranger Things, but then I was like, no, I think he fits better the Dirty Steve Stevens one. But I did pick a Stranger Things actor for my Billy the Kid. I went with Joe Quinn, who played Eddie Munson in the last season of Stranger Things, and now is playing the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movie. I figured I wanted somebody who had that sort of manic, chaotic energy that Billy the Kid kind of has. Yeah. Eddie Munson was that sort of like outlaw character a little bit. So, and he's an English actor who could pull off an American accent. So,
good point.
Yeah.
Most of them can.
Yeah, most of them can. Look at I think 80% of the Walking Dead cast was British. So then that leaves Kevin.
All right. Gentlemen, after seeing him in such things as the Banshee of Inisherin and hearing about his role in Saltburn, I went with Barry
Keoghan.
I was thinking, look, he actually has a more accurate historical look.
Yeah, if you look like the old pictures of Billy the Kid, yeah.
He's got that ugly mug, and poor Barry, but he's not a handsome man. But
he was handsome enough to land Sabrina Carpenter for sure.
There you go. But he looks.
Let me tell you something. After seeing him in Saltburn and seeing all the nude scenes he has, my man's working with something too. He might lag it in the face. He ain't lagging it in the head.
He has a persistent head, huh?
Yes, he has a persistent head.
No, but I think he can. I think he has the elements of like, you know, he can be playful and deadly, and yeah.
Yeah, you got to check out like the deleted scene from the Batman where he plays the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get that chaotic energy again. Yeah, I like that one. Now when you said the first movie, you said,
oh, the
what was it? The
Banshees of Inisherin.
Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah, I was thinking of something else. There's a TV show called Banshee, which stars the guy that plays Homelander in The Boys.
Okay.
And I thought of that first, and I was like, no, he said Banshees of Inisherin. And as soon as you said Saltburn, I was like, oh, I know where this is going. Barry, check out my Irish Dick Keegan. He's the guy that you went with, man. So to recap the last two, or the last one here, the main character, Billy the Kid, played by Emilio Estevez. I had Joe Quinn from Stranger Things. Mike had Jody Sanger, whatever his name is. Jody. He had like 3 names.
I got to put my tablet back up. It was Thomas Brody Sanger.
Thomas Brody Sanger. Thomas Brody Sanger. And Kevin had Barry. I keep saying Keegan. I think it's Keoghan, I think is how he pronounces it. I don't know. But I think it's a good pick. I like your pick for this one. I like my Austin Butler pick for Charlie Sheen's character. I like the Nick Holt one for Doc Scurlock. I like my pick for Lou Diamond Phillips, Jolo Metaduena. Dom Mulrooney. I like my Joe Keery pick. I like my picks. I don't know. For Charlie Beaudry, I like the Jack Quaid pick. I really, really like the Jude Law pick for Terrence Stamp character that Mike gave us. And then I think for Jack Palance, I'm leaning towards Sam Elliott just because Sam Elliott screams Western movies. I added 3 more. I didn't ask you guys to do this. I added these today just because I'm like, there's very few female characters in the film, but the ones that there are deserve to kind of have like a little like recasting as well. So you can tell me if you agree with what I have or if you have a better idea or whatever. So I did 3 more characters. I did Yun Sun, played by Alice Carter, who is the young Asian woman that Kiefer Sutherland falls in love with.
Yun Sun.
The lawyer McSweeney, that was played by Terry O'Quinn, and his wife McSweeney, who was played by Sharon Thomas Kane. So for McSweeney, Terry O'Quinn, I went with Donald Gleason, who is actually older than Terry O'Quinn was in the film, which is another one where I'm like, how the fuck is this guy older when looks younger? Like Donald Gleason is 40, and Terry O'Quinn was 36 when he did this film.
Yeah.
But I wanted somebody who was like, who could pull off that like sort of like, you know, he's a lawyer. He's not an outlaw, but he looks out for the guys, and not much older than him, but still like kind of looks out for them. And then for his wife, I went with Bryce Dallas Howard, who is roughly the same age as the actress who played her in the first film. Again, she's not that much older than the Young Guns, but kind of takes on like a motherly role with them. And then I was really proud of my Yen Sun pick. I went with Karen Nakamura. Right. Karen Nakamura plays Yumiko on The Boys. She is 33 years old, but she looks much younger. And I couldn't find the age of the actress who played Yun Sun. It is like information that is not available anywhere. Although I'm pretty sure she was fairly young when she did the movie. I was also looking at it, and I'm like, I went with Donald Gleason and Bryce Dallas Howard, but they look like brother and sister. So I was trying to think of like another one I can switch out for that, but overall, I kind of like those extra picks. Do you guys have anything to add to that, or we good?
Nah,
we're good. All right. So, Mike, you have any beer trivia history for us, Steven?
I do. The people of Japan love beer, and they hold the Great Japan Beer Festival in the largest cities all summer. Tokyo in early June, Okinawa in mid-June, Osaka in mid-July, Nagoya in early August, and Yokohama in early September.
I would say add that to the road trip, but we got enough to cover in America before we go to Japan.
That's true.
We got a cinema quote of the week.
If I'm going to Japan, I'm drinking sake. We do. We have a cinema quote of the week. Take it away, Kev.
That's right. Sorry. I got carried away here. When I went to Hollywood, I had to work out in a gym. I should look like Daniel Craig, though they hadn't even heard of him at this point. That was Roger Moore, who we all know was the 5th 007 in the series. Third. Fourth, second,
He was
fourth,
the
third.
He was the 4th if you count Peter Sellers.
That's right. Peter Sellers was 007.
Peter Sellers.
It was Sean Connery, George Lazenby, and then Roger Moore.
Well, you could always say it was 4th, but it was Sean Connery, Lazenby, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery again. Kind of like David Tennant playing 2 different versions of the Doctor. How are your drinks this evening, gentlemen?
Good. I started with the same summer, and I finished with a 6 degrees of fermentation, supporting Kevin Bacon's organization, charity.
I reached out to Kevin Bacon's publicity team to try to get him on the show. I still haven't heard back yet. Mike, how was the Critical Role whiskey?
I thought it'd be a little smoother. I mean, it's good. Mm-hmm. It's not smooth. It's a little. It's a whiskey.
You mean a whiskey that, according to the description, was made by a fictional character in a fictional land from a cartoon called Vox Machina, did not go down smooth?
No, it's a sip of whiskey. You don't drink it. Yeah. You sip it all night. That's one of those.
And I had Maker's Mark 46, which is their aged version of their whiskey, which was very good. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for joining us tonight for episode 197, Recasting Young Guns. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget to check out our email address, filmsandfermentation@gmail.com, or go to linktree.com to find all of our social media and podcast links. You can find us on the Podnation Media Network app on Roku. We're also on YouTube and Rumble if you want to watch the video version of the podcast. And you can support us on Patreon. You can also text us at 904-867-4466. Again, thank you to all those people who started following us recently on all of our socials. Please stick around and let us know what you think of the show. If you have any suggestions, any questions, any comments, or anything, we'd like to do a little mailbag episode in the future. So please send your queries into us at some point. And don't forget to stop by the Crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next time around for episode 198. We're going to be doing another one of our topics that we love doing that we haven't done in a while. We're going to be doing a Films That Time Forgot episode. And we also are closing in on episode 200. So make sure you stick around for more information about that episode. We're hoping to do a live feed for that episode. That'll be sometime later in the month of June. Once again, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
Shit, I was like, did you wait to the end of the show to freeze on me?
I think
it was a little delayed. I got worried.
Wow.
This has been the Films and Fermentation. This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.